how you cover the bottom of a sawfish kayak. Now, to do this, you need bed sheets. I usually go to the thrift store. I look for the thickest sheet that doesn't stretch very much. And I also want to make sure, if I can, that it's cotton, or at least feels like it's cotton and not all synthetic. Glue will stick to it better. Paint tray. I use the paint rollers, and what I do is I just cut a regular roller in half, and then I use one of these small size roller handles. Makes it easier. Little brush, 1 inch. I get them in a box of Harbor Freight for not much money for a whole box of them. If your foam has not already been punctured, this is what I use. This is the wallpaper removal tool. It's kind of more expensive than some people want to pay for a tool they're only going to use once. So I actually found this a little bit cheaper. It's called an uncapping roller. It has something to do with getting the wax off when you're beekeeping, so you can get the honey out, I guess. It's a little bit cheaper. It doesn't cover as much area. As you can tell, it's narrower, but it does the job as well, maybe even a little better. So there's another option right there. I got both of them off of Amazon. This is sawfish. This is the original sawfish right here. I've used it for 3 years, and then I actually punctured the bottom of it, broke some stuff. I really beat it up because I was abusing it to see what it could take. And so I finally stripped all the fabric off. I wanted to remake the hull in different ways. Now I'm back to the point of recovering. You're also going to need some Type-On 2 wood glue, gallon jug. I usually try and go to Home Depot or Lowe's. If you buy 4 jugs, they make it a little bit cheaper, so that's how I do that. Razor blade with a new razor blade on it. You're going to need that. A pair of scissors, another Harbor Freight special for like $1. Box of gloves. These are the vinyl ones. They work the best because the glue doesn't stick to them when it starts to get tacky and all that. It doesn't pull your glove off, it just slides off the vinyl. So make sure you got your everything laid out, it's shaped the way you want it. You have all your setup here. Now with sawfish, I had a skeg in the back and stern that I wasn't happy with. So I actually hacked out this whole piece and replaced it with a new piece of foam, and this one has not been scored up yet, so pretty easy. Use one of these tools, and there we go. Another thing I'll show you real quick, I'm going to pick the camera up here and zoom in on it. But the sawfish, like I mentioned, I actually rammed a stick right in here. It rammed right down inside the foam and stuck. I was going through a swamped pasture, and I actually had the paddle broken in half, and I was using it like ski poles. So what I did is I just chopped out about 1 inch deep this square, cut a 1 inch deep piece of foam, or 1 inch piece of foam to match the shape, packed it in there with Gorilla Glue, let that cure, and then I used a plane to smooth it off. And now it's just as smooth as the hull. Another piece I did right there. You can do that anywhere there's damage if you want to get rid of it. If there's a pocket that you're not happy with, like I let stuff go, but some people really want their boat smooth. That's where you do that. You can refill all of that and make it look better than it ever was. So there's the idea. So now we're going to go ahead and show you how to lay this stuff out for covering your kayak. So all this stuff. When I'm shopping for sheets, I think I pay like $2.50 for each of these sheets. I go for the unfitted, the one that doesn't have the elastic in it for going around the corners on the bottom. I look for top sheets. And I look for queen size or king size. Try and get as much of the length of the bottom covered with one piece as possible. You can overlap if you need to go for more, but it's just easier if you don't have to. And if there's any hems that could get in the way, take the scissors and trim them off. Okay, so you just want to make sure that it is possible for it to stretch bow to stern where the water line is. Now the stern I actually want this to end right on that corner, because there's going to be another piece to actually cover the stern, and then this comes down over it. So stretch as much up onto the bow. It's really where you need the most strength anyways, and you want the least amount of possibilities for seams to fail or anything like that. I mean, you can do it with smaller sheets, you can do it in small pieces with any kind of fabric. I'm saying this is just the way I like to do it. So now I've got it laid out where I want it. I'm going to fold back a couple feet here. As you can see, we got little bits of foam in here. They come out when you do the roller. Anything you do to get rid of them will help. The roller will actually help strip them off the hull for you anyways. One nice thing about this. Take the paint tray. Put a bunch of your Type Mon2 glue in here. Some gloves so your hands don't look hideous the next day. Roll it. You want it so that the roller is covered in glue. And then when you're putting the glue on, what you're doing is all those little pockets you made in the foam, you want to see that each and every one of them has a little dot of glue forced down into the pocket. That's what gives that glue bond to the foam that extra grip, gives that fabric that extra grip down in. You don't want to saturate the fabric with glue, so you just want it nice and thin so you can see the foam otherwise. But you want these pores, that's what I end up calling them, you want the pores filled with glue so that you know that that fabric is locked in extra deep. And this glue is sticky, so anything loose on the surface of the foam it's grabbing, it's a good idea to pick them off or fling them off as you get the chance. But once you get all those pores filled, the glue actually swells as it cures. And what you end up with is the fabric, when you strip it off, will have a whole bunch of little, look almost like little tacks of glue. And that's what really locks it into the foam so much better than any other way you could possibly do it. Alright, so now we've got the glue spread on here. It's another reason to wear these gloves, because you're going to be pressing the fabric down in. Pull it straight. Stretch this back. And what you need to do now is you need to be working any wrinkles out. Now as it goes around the corner of the hull, you can get some wrinkles, which is why I try and just stick to one surface, one plane at a time. And then once that is secured down well, I'll come back and I'll work the sides later. Then you're going to take this and you're going to peel the fabric all the way back the other way. This is why you glued one end, so now you know that the fabric is more or less going the way you want it to. It even can help to mark the fabric where you want edges to be, but you'll find as you are gluing and stretching, some things will change their direction they go. And the same thing, more glue, same thing, press down into the pores. I'll show you a close-up of it. The idea see, this is all yellow and I can't see. I roll it a few times, now I can actually see the little dots of foam. I can see the pink through it, or maybe blue, green, whatever color foam you're using. But you just want to see that all of those little pockets there have a dot of glue down inside of them. So you have to put a little bit of force on the roller as you do that. Don't be afraid to even go over where you already were, because that's dried out a little now. And just that same idea, work it down in. Go a couple feet. All the way across the hull. And too much glue is not a horrible problem. I mean, if it's saturating through the fabric, it'll be hard to get the paint to stick to the fabric where the glue is saturated through. But not enough glue is a lot bigger problem, because it'll bubble and peel, and you won't be able to do the heat thing to get it to re-adhere the way that you can if you have extra glue in here. So more the better. Try and get all these pores filled. You want a nice thin coat, and then you take it and you fold your fabric all the way back over. Like that. I don't want anything like this. Nice and straight. So now you got to start working these wrinkles out again. You don't want them getting cured into the fabric. Like I said, it will stretch a little. Even the fabric that in the store didn't seem to stretch much at all. Because remember, you are getting it wet. When you get a natural fiber wet, it will stretch a little. So, work that through. Work out your wrinkles, however you have to do it. It's a nice thing. Some people want to talk about thinning the glue. I tried that once. I was very unhappy with it, and I will never try it again, because all that extra water takes longer to cure. And the stickiness of the glue is what allows you to go faster. If it's really wet, you got to keep going back and doing this with the wrinkles a lot more. And there you go. You just keep going like that till you do the whole thing. I'm not going to waste your time by showing you all of it, but there you go.